if you're late to an estimate, why am I going to give you money if you're late to even ask for
Yeah.
the job?
Yeah.
So I have a due date for their application. We do a behavioral interview where I interview them on 7 different behavioral attributes, and we know their behavior based on previous experience of
Yeah.
goals they hit and miss. So we look at the good, bad, and the ugly. And then they take a personality test, which also has a due date. And then I schedule a decision call where I tell them, you are going to call me on Thursday at 11 a.m., 30-minute phone call. Write this down. Here's my number. I don't send calendar invites. I don't send
Right.
text reminders because if I'm a customer and you want $10,000 from me,
Yeah.
why am I following up with you to give you money?
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today for another interview series at Mitsuoka Company. So today we have a very, very, very special guest, Anna Davis, who's the Senior Recruiting Manager here at Mitsuoka Company. Now, everybody here says that Mitsuoka Company is a family, and today it's literally family. Anna Davis is married to Takuya Davis, who is the owner, the CEO of Mitsuoka Company. So, Anna, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to us, to give us some insights about you, what you do, and of course, Mitsuoka Company.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. And by the way, he's married to me. I'm not married to him.
There you go. Now we know who owns the pants.
Yes. Just wanted to correct you on that, but thank you.
No, no, absolutely. So, yeah, so this is just such an opportunity to have you today because I just wanted to ask you. So, what made you? I mean, I'm sure it, was a team effort, or maybe not with Takuya, but like, what made you decide to become a recruiter?
Going way back to where it all started, I like finding people or matching good people to good opportunities. And if that's just classic networking of who'd you buy a car from, who's the best babysitter, to I can change someone's life or help be a part of someone's story. And it kind of came into fruition on from running my own business to going into recruiting sales reps. On now we know, or I know, what the role entails and what business owners need as far as sales reps. And now let's go match good people and good business. And that's what gets me out of bed every day. I just love
Nice.
it.
Yeah, I just feel like, recruiting is a lot to do, obviously, with having like really good relationships with people, having an understanding of what people need, but not only that, but also what the business needs, because you guys have to match the right people with the right business. So, and it really comes down to so many aspects um, of somebody who qualifies for the job.
Hmm.
Um, so tell me a little bit about a little bit more detail about what it took for you to get to where you're at today. Like, how did it all grow to get to where in the position that you're in? And like, so you said that you had a business before. So what was the journey from here to now?
So I was a GM of a fitness center and
Oh,
recruited people to be sales reps there, trained them, replaced myself, and then I actually got recruited out to run a painting business. And do you want me to say the name of it?
it's up to you. I mean, I don't know if they maybe don't need to, but just the
Okay.
painting business. Is it
So
a
then,
big, is it a well-known painting business?
yeah, and our clients now are from there too. So I don't know if
Oh,
our
well,
audience needs to know all that or
okay. It's up to you. I mean, if they're comfortable with that, I totally think that you should because they get an idea of what a little bit more.
okay. So I got recruited out to run a college pro painting business.
Oh,
So where we painted houses over the summer and sold paint jobs to homeowners. And then from there, moved on to corporate college pro to recruit college students to talk to them about my experience running a business while going to college and the benefits of it. And I felt I could do it really well because I did it myself. So it came out very organic, generic, very real because here's what it's like because I did it.
yeah.
And Did that for probably 9 years, and then CertaPro Painters, which is the big brother of College Pro, recruited me out to go sell franchises to individuals looking to own a business or a second career of owning their business. So, and same thing with them, where it's like, I know who you're looking for. I've been in that sales role. I've been in people's homes. I know the culture. And for them, for clients or CertaPro, it was a good fit because it's not like trying to verbally reiterate, here's what we're looking for, here's what it's like. It's like, oh no, I lived and breathed the whole thing. And now I can match the great people to your great opportunity, help your business grow and help them have a career for themselves and their family.
That's amazing because that gives you so much more insight than, I mean, obviously a lot of recruiters have a lot of good people skills and all that sort of stuff, but you really understand business, you understand people on a whole other level, so that's really cool. Um, so what would you say is like the biggest mistake that business owners make when hiring?
The biggest mistake I would say is you have a picture in mind of what you're looking for, requirements, things for the job, expectations, but not everyone is a perfect fit. And I always
Right.
say to them, think about people you've dated, people you're going to marry. No one's 100% a home run and perfect. So if their majority of the list is there and you can coach and train them, where people, and yes, have expectations, but there's not the perfect salesperson, there's not the perfect, production manager. But if you can coach them and train them and they have most of that there and they are coachable and trainable, then hire them. And don't it doesn't take 10 people, it doesn't even take 5 people, and try to compare them all to what you're looking for. Because the more people you get in your process,
Right.
this person's going to have ABC, this person has XYZ, I wish we could combine them, but which one's more and
Right.
then you do that times 5, 8, 10 people, now you're just spinning your wheels.
Right. So do you look at potential more than anything else than in this case? Like, let's just say they have three of these qualities, but they have a lot of potential to develop those other skills. You know what I mean? So that's obviously a better candidate, even though they might not be as qualified in certain aspects.
Yeah, potential is a big one and coachability, and it's great
Right.
if you have a great salesperson and they have every award, every trophy, every trip, but if they're not willing to be humble and learn your process,
Yeah.
right, and they come in and try to tell you, "Well, here's what I used to sell, well, this is what how my business sells," and if
Right.
you're not open to that and being coachable, that's something I look for a lot. Not only and will they and the grit. So not only do you have the awards, but will you be coached on a new system and apply that, or are you just gonna go back to what you think you know and try to apply it to a new sales role that may be a bit different? Because at the end of the day, sales is not just sale if you can sell one thing, you can sell another. Yes, but no. You have to learn the new companies. They have a system in place and a process, and if you're not
Right.
willing to learn that, then I'd say you're disqualified.
Right. Right. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you hire somebody, so if you're just looking at qualifications alone and not at potential, but if somebody's very rigid, set in their ways, they've maybe worked for the same company for like 20 years, and then for some reason they're going into a new company, they have to readjust. And that can cause a lot of, friction and problems for obviously for the owner if they hire the wrong person, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So what is your hiring process like you personally? Because I think everybody might have their own kind of, I mean, I'm sure you guys have a system going with Mitsuoka Company, but I'm sure you also have your own thing that you look for in a candidate or specific steps that you take to select the right candidate. So just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I do a lot of nonverbal interviewing as well too, which I'll take you through. So it's we do name generation, usually a direct message. I've got my clients list on what they're looking for, deal breakers, and then we'll go search them, uh, target, cherry pick resumes. And then there's a phone interview, which there's 5 questions that they need to type and answer. So I look for grammar, punctuation. Are they fast on their phone? I mean, are they putting the right state abbreviation? I know it
Right.
sounds silly, but the people sometimes
I
misspell.
would fail that one.
So, and then, I call them for the phone
Yeah,
interview, and then, it's a 30-minute phone interview, and then there's a Spark Hire video with a due date. I put due dates on everything,
yeah,
because especially in a sales role, are you going to be on time to sales meetings, clients' houses? Will you follow up when you say you do? Because like we say, if you're late to an estimate, why am I going to give you money if you're late to even ask for
yeah,
the job?
yeah,
So, I have a due date for their application. We do a behavioral interview where I interview them on 7 different behavioral attributes, and we know their behavior based on previous experience of
yeah,
goals they hit and missed. So we look at the good, bad, and the ugly. And then they take a personality test, which also has a due date. And then I schedule a decision call where I tell them, you are going to call me on Thursday at 11 a.m., 30-minute phone call. Write this down. Here's my number. I don't send calendar invites. I don't send
right.
text reminders because if I'm a customer and you want $10,000 from me,
Yeah,
why am I following up with you to give you money? So some recruiters are like, it's a little intense, but it's also you want the job. And if you can't behave that way in the interview, you're not going to behave that way asking for a sale.
right,
So they call me and I track for my clients, are they calling on time? Like if your call's at 11, are you calling at 11? Good job, you are. And then they move forward to a final interview with my clients, and then we talk to them about what we find, any concerns, any things that we're really excited about. But ultimately, the clients do have the final say. But if we're not gonna hire hire them for our company, I'm not gonna put them in front of you, and I that's one of my personal values. I've got a lot of integrity. I wanna sleep at night where
yeah,
it's like, I'm not just gonna fill your position, like, I want to be proud of this person because my name's on it, and they're gonna represent your company.
yeah. That's awesome. I mean, it is definitely an intense process, but it makes a lot of sense what you're saying because people may say they're going to do all these things, especially on resumes and things like that, or in the interview, they're obviously going to put their best foot forward. But then it's like, show me who you are, show me
Yeah.
that you say what you mean, prove it to me. Um, so yeah, so does it happen often that people just don't show up or forget, and or is it like less that it happens and it's just more, you know?
I mean, it happens
Yeah,
sometimes, but oftentimes it's less, or they say, "Can you send me a calendar invite?" And I'll say, "No, you can write it down," and I'll explain why I'm not sending a calendar invite. Because I say in this sales role, if I say I need 3 days to think about my paint or the floor, I'm not going to call you on a Friday to remind you I want to give you money.
right.
So how about you write it down? Then it's more seek to understand or have them understand why we don't do it to be understood. And then the candidate says, "Okay, yes, that makes sense. Hold on, let me grab paper." And then I have them validate my number. So now it's okay, you gotta call me. And sometimes I'll have people, my kid fell, I'm in the ER, I won't make our call today. Totally fine,
Yeah,
acceptable, life
yeah, yeah.
happens. So and
But,
then I've had
it's
people
raining
that
outside and my hairdresser can't see me at 3 o'clock today is probably not.
yes, yes. So, "Oh, sorry, I forgot. I thought you were calling me." I'm like, "Well, remember on the in the Zoom interview, I said, you are who's calling who, and I have them verbally validate to me."
Yeah,
Because again, yes, it's a long interview process, but in 30 minutes or an hour, somebody can tell you whatever they want. But time, a written application, a video app, another Zoom, meeting the owner. I mean, it's pretty hard to fib for that long. So we really get to know the person, and they get to know the position, inside and out as well too.
nice. So, okay. So what would you say is Mitsuoka and Company's biggest strength, especially compared to other companies? Like, what is the strengths of Mitsuoka and Company and what sets you guys apart from all the other recruiters?
So I'm going to take straight feedback from candidates that we've recently placed, that we are more personable with the candidate in an interview. People feel interviewed, but they also feel comfortable that we really want to know, how old are your kids? What is your dog's name? Have you always liked that breed? And this literally happened last Thursday, where I had 2 candidates said they got the job, and I sent them a message, "Congratulations," and they just said, "Just to let you know, I've done 4 or 5 interviews, and, you guys were my 6th, and not one person knows that I have kids because no one ever asked." Or elaborated. We don't just say, "Do you have kids?" We're like, "Oh, I've got 3 kids, 2 dogs, we're into a lot of sports."
Yeah.
I will follow up, "Oh, how old are your kids?" Because I have kids. "Oh, what sports are they in?" My kids are 5 starting basketball too, and we relate where
Yeah.
they've said one other company, when they said, "Tell me about yourself." "Oh, I'm married, I have kids and a dog." "Okay, sounds good. So what are your and
Anyway, yeah. I
yeah,
actually
so
have a family friend who works in recruiting too, and I'm seeing the difference between Mitsuoka Company and the way that she runs her company. And not to obviously put them down, but it's very much a job. It's very much okay, I've got this many clients. Oh my God, this is, the list of things that I have to do. It's just another job. And every time I talk to some of you guys, it's just, passion. There's passion behind it. It's family. You guys really care about the clients. You care about who you're talking to. I mean, it's about building relationships with people. So to me, that's just so amazing because it's to me that's very rare. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
and
genuine and it's rare, so it's just so amazing to see that.
yeah, and to us, we're like, "Doesn't everyone do that? That's normal, right?" And
Right.
we're like, "No, I have a 30-minute interview," and they say, "Can you start Monday?" Where we have a long interview process, and also feedback from candidates is they like the long interview process because for the client's behalf, they can see that they really are wanting to get the right person. They really wanna care about bringing the right person in and developing, and, yeah, that's a long interview process, but I feel like they are investing a lot into this person, and I wanna be that person because of this long interview process.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. You guys are just amazing, both you and Takuya, and obviously everybody else. But it's just so refreshing to see that, and that to tell people out there that there are companies out there like that. There are people that genuinely care, and I know that you guys will take their business as your own, and just shows by the way that you treat both the clients, and the potential candidates. Okay, so I have one more question for you. What has been the biggest challenge that you had to overcome as a recruiter?
Uh, Getting excited about candidates, because I can get excited about a candidate. I kinda look at it like the stock market. Yes, they're humans. Yes, I get attached to them, but ultimately, the in-person interview is up to the candidate and the client, and I'm not there for those. So it's sometimes a bummer if they don't get the role, but, we're recruiters, so we'll find them a place, and then,
So you're
I
basically
guess
saying like you might get really excited about the candidate, but then the business owner might not agree with that. So yeah. So do you
yes.
do you push for that usually, or is it just like this is what we
Yeah, because sometimes they'll come up with something where it's like, okay, but that one little thing, but they have all of this. And I believe in company culture to a degree. You don't have to spend Friday night with every single person you work with or do Sunday dinner with.
right,
Uh, and oftentimes, or not often, but sometimes I'll get they're qualified, they just don't fit into our culture. And then it's like, well, maybe expand your culture a little bit because they can do the job.
right,
But if you don't want to go to a football game with them on Friday night lights, or like, that's fine. If they can do the job and bring your business to the next level,
right,
but you don't have to have, kumbaya moments with them every night, every week, and this and that. And sometimes I coach owners, especially if there's director of sales or GMs, like, you guys have all known each other for 10 years. There's a problem in the business, which is why you're
right,
hiring, which is we need more sales. So think of back 10 years ago. Did you all kind of hang out and do Thanksgiving together 10 years ago? No. You may now, so I try to coach them, just remove yourself from that. Can they bring your business to the level you want it to be at? But you don't have to do Thanksgiving with them this year. It's not a big deal.
right. That makes a lot of
So,
sense. But I never even thought of that. I never even thought of like telling them to upgrade their company culture. I always thought like, oh, the person's got to fit in. But you're right. It's like you guys also might have to look at your own business right now. And this is why you can't find a candidate. This is why things are not working for you, because
Yeah.
something is outdated here. Something needs to be upgraded. And, you know, people are not fitting in for a reason, and we're giving you great candidates, but you also have to kind of match us at some point.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, and if
yeah,
you look at a football team, a sport, any sports team, it doesn't even have to have 50 players on it, but 20 people in a room, if you're all the same person, you're not going to grow your business because you all think the same.
right,
So get somebody that may disrupt that a little bit, or maybe culturally they may not fit in right away, but it's like if they can bring the whole purpose of why you bring us on is to find somebody that can help grow your business from here to the next level. Well, that's what we're going to do. And if it's, again, the culture side, well, be a little more open-minded. There's a lot of different great people out there that may not like football, but they can sell $1,000,000 worth of paint or flooring.
right, right. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, whenever you hear anything about growth in general, it's uncomfortable growth. You know, there has to be a level of discomfort or change, or something has to. It's growth. You know, so that means you got to step out of your comfort zone and do something that is not comfortable, and that could mean many things for a business. But so obviously, you guys also give advice to the businesses as well if you see potential for that.
Yeah, and we'll get pushback, but at the end of the day, I just say, we respectfully give pushback and they know it's not going to be just a warm body in the chair. I'm trying to get rid of you because they get updates every week on we turn people down, this and we if it's phone interview or I don't feel proud enough to send them through, little leery on it, but here's why I would bring them on. Yeah. And then it is up to them, but we definitely give a lot of more factual reasons on to bring them on versus why I feel, because that
Right.
ties into behavioral interview.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, sorry, I have to ask you this as well about behavioral interviewing. So I know we're skipping a little bit back, but what 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 do you find that behavioral interview really gives you? Because I know there's so many benefits from it. But you specifically, why do you use it? What is it that it gives you the insight of the candidate, like above anything else?
People should, could, and will all the time, but do you actually do and push through?
Hmm.
So, I interviewed a candidate that his goal was to own a house by the time he was 25. So I go, okay, how did you do it? And he worked 3 jobs while going to college. One was at Walmart, one was overnight because it paid double. He knew I put a percentage away. I could only afford a $400,000 house, so I made a spreadsheet on, okay, that's not what you should do. He's done it, and here's a picture of my house. So it's like, okay, or yeah, I've done B2B, business to business cold calling and built a business from 400 grand to 1,000,000 in a year. Okay, so how did you add $600,000? Well, I would grid out my territory. I would go here and then I would start calling there and I wouldn't just drive around aimlessly. So it's just having them talk about
Yeah.
uh, what you actually did, not what you should and could do. But then it's like, okay, because you somehow got 600 grand in a territory. Were you just lucky? Was it a big account? No, I made 100 calls a day to be able to get in front of 80 people. And then I would set up the weekend. So I think people sometimes recruiters will read resumes. I'm like, oh, great, you got an award. Congrats. But I'm like, I want to know from day one how you got the award.
Yeah.
Or did your company tell you, here's the call, here's your call list, go do it? Or did you figure out your call list? I figured it out. How? And then you just listen. And then it's if they already know how to start from ground zero and the call list and grid out it because no one micromanaged them how to do it, they will do that in this business.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. I just wanted to for the audience to really hear that, because I don't think people understand how important behavioral interviewing is and how it really gives you a very deep insight on the personality, the potential outcomes from a candidate, and this really gives you a really thorough insight of all of those potentials. Like you said, it's like, okay, you say it, but now show me, what are you doing, what are your plans, how does your mind work, do you say what you mean? um
And we even get personal with them too. We'll tell them, personally, any personal goals you've hit. And I've interviewed someone that they've lost 100 pounds in a month, or not a month, sorry, a year. And it's like, as much as I used to eat dessert every night. I cut that out. I had to cut that. And it's like you're holding yourself accountable to probably
Yeah,
the hardest thing that anyone can do. No one's looking over your shoulder. You could cheat and have a cookie here and there. You went to the gym when you didn't want to. Even on a personal side, if somebody didn't have the top sales numbers or trophies or winning president's award trips, the fact that they held themselves personally accountable to that, because there's not a boss or a coworker looking at them, they just wanted to feel better.
yeah,
I push that person through and tell them they achieve goals. They lead themselves. That's the hardest thing to do. All of us know if it's 1 pound or 100 pounds, losing weight and staying cardio healthy is very challenging for most people.
yeah, yeah. That
If
makes
you can do
sense.
that, you can be trained on how to sell stuff.
And that's the kind of person that you want to be working for you. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going to say I'm going to do this. I have a vision. I say what I do. I'm going to follow through what I've planned. So great. Well, we're actually running out of time, and we've got 5 minutes. But yeah, I just thank you so much for taking the time today and giving everybody, as I said, a little bit more insights about you, the company, and what you guys do. Because I think it's really helpful for people to really understand that you guys go above and beyond. And you look at things that I think that most recruiters do not look at, like you said, personality, asking questions that most people don't look at. And I personally, as I said, I know other recruiters who just do not do what Mitsuoka Company does. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to add or say before we go?
No, I guess cascading message is we really do care. I mean, it's our name on the company, it's our brand, and not only just for that, but it's uh I love being a part of the story. If it can be you and your family, you sold XYZ and got to go to Disney and you've always wanted to, or if it's client that said because of this person, we went from 1 million to another 2 million. Uh and I just got to be a part of the story for 2 weeks, like, because I know the client develops them and trains them and retains them, but, I got to connect them, and that's what it's all about,
That's awesome.
changing lives. And
One at the time.
yes.
Thank you so much, Anna, for being here today, as I said. And I guess we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you.